Tonight we're going to be talking about the growth of technology and its role in the democratic process. And we're going to show you how this man
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
became our president, and coincidentally how this man
Total control. Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. You know.
and became our current commander-in-chief. Now first, let's talk about the growth of technology. Over the years, technology has grown at an incredible pace. Starting with the use of the radio in 1924, election between Coolidge and Davis, to the first presidential election ad on TV in 1952 for Eisenhower, to the first presidential debate on TV in 1960 between Kennedy and Nixon. The continued growth of technology has spread democracy across the nation. However, the growth of technology has led to the polarization of politics. Now first, let's talk about TV ads. This negative ad played for Lyndon B. Johnson against his opponent Barry Goldwater in 1964.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 8, 9,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
These are the stakes to make a world in which all of God's children can live, or to go into the dark. We must either love each other or we must die.
Vote for President Johnson on November 3rd.
2, 1 now. Other than revealing how pessimistic the 60s was, they really went to town messing with this little girl. Come on now, she can't even count to 10 properly. Don't confuse her by going backwards, you brutes! You brutes! Hashtag repeal Common Core 2017. Hashtag feminism. Smear campaign ads are commonplace today with the creation of super PACs that pour millions into negative publicity for opposing candidates, as well as spreading divisive information or blowing topics or positions way out of proportion. Other than ad campaigns, technology has evolved into an issue of public debate, none more famous than this.
And people across the government knew that I used one device. Maybe it was because I am not the most technically capable person and wanted to make it as easy as possible.
The ability to understand and be proficient with technology is an important skill for a president to have. None knew this better than this man right here. Donald Trump's ability to capture the attention of millions with his tweets made him the buzz of the 2016 election. When it comes to talking trash about other candidates, to saying that global warming was invented by China, to Govivi, which quite frankly sounds like the new French coffee brew at your local McDonald's cafe. Donald Trump's constant internet presence has given him not only screen time, but has also cultivated the growth of new internet communities like the alt-right. This brings us to our next topic, the development of radicalists and their increased popularity through new forms of media. Sensationalist news stories have been used to bait people into heavily biased and possibly false information. The internet has given these forums an outlet to advertise to more people, and more often than not, when someone is on one side of the aisle, they are very unlikely to go look at information on the other. On the Democratic side, there is www.ourfuture.org, and on the right, there is Breitbart.com. And my personal favorite, InfoWars with this man, Alex Jones.
I'm a pioneer. I'm an explorer. I'm a human, and I'm coming. I'm animated. I'm alive. My heart's big. It's got hot blood going through it fast. I like to fight, too. I like to eat. I like to have children. I'm here. I got a life force. This is a human. This is what we look like. This is what we act like. This is what everybody was like before us. This is what I am. I'm a throwback. I'm here. I've got the fire of human liberty. I'm setting fires everywhere, and humans are turning on everywhere.
Now, it is worth mentioning that this was made right after he lost the custody battle for his children with his divorced wife. And all I have to say is, can you blame them? News outlets like these have driven people to far sides of the aisle, and doing so has undermined our democratic process. Now people are not willing to communicate or even see what other evidence the other side has to put forth. Oftentimes these are seen as fake news, and as a result, they're completely written off as illegitimate by the other party. Now finally, let's talk about technology and elections themselves. Over some recent elections, technology has been blamed for their outcome. The election of 2000, Al Gore famously lost to George W. Bush by a 0.009% margin. After the election, recounts conducted by various news media organizations continued a primary focus on ballots that machines read as not showing a vote. Bush would have won if certain recounting methods had been used, but that Gore might have won under other standards and scenarios. A small issue in ballot counting made this man,
As yesterday's positive report card shows, children do learn.
our 43rd president. The use of technology has proven to cause errors that delegitimize certain votes and victories. This poses a problem to the viability of democracy in the age of technology, and easier ways of including people are actually silencing them. Even scarier than machine malfunctions in elections is the idea that some outside force is influencing our election. The current Trump-Russia scandal has caused many in this country to not only question if our current president is secretly being mind-controlled by Putin, and the answer is, he just might be. But Putin's interview with Megyn Kelly raises some alarms both domestically and internationally.
You had said for months that Russia had nothing to do with the interference of the American election, and then this week you floated the idea of patriotic hackers doing it. Why the change?
Well, I hadn't said anything. It's just that French journalist asked me about those hackers. I told him the same thing I can tell you. Hackers can be anywhere. They can be in Russia, in Asia, even in America, Latin America. They can even be hackers, by the way, in the United States, who very skillfully and professionally shifted the blame, as we say, onto Russia. Can you imagine something like that? In the midst of a political battle. By some calculations, it was convenient for them to release this information, so they released it, citing Russia. Could you imagine something like that? I can.
Vladimir, Vladdy Daddy, you are one evil son of a gun. Although that interview seemed particularly shifty, Putin has a point. Hackers can be anywhere in the world, and they pose a threat to democracy. Influencing elections, in fact, delegitimizes their results. None believe this more fervently than Hillary Clinton.
But I was on the way to winning until the combination of Jim Comey's letter on October 28th and Russian WikiLeaks raised doubts in the minds of people who were inclined to vote for me but got scared off. And the evidence for that intervening event is, I think, compelling, persuasive.
This also poses a threat. Having a candidate who is not willing to admit defeat, even if the election is under scandal, promotes tearing down our election process as it has been for the past 228 years. In addition, there's a growth in the phrase, "not my president." Unfortunately, he is still your president, and thanks to the writ of habeas corpus, the Trump campaign is innocent until proven guilty. So until there is damning evidence against the Trump campaign or evidence that completely vindicates him, democracy must go on, business as usual. And now we'll cut to the interview with our crack political team. Have a look. I'd like to introduce you to my guest today. Here we have Brandon Chung, aspiring Melee player. Next we have Thomas Nguyen, who is our local IT guy as well as our NRA representative. And here we have Cletus Clyde. So, would you like to tell us a little about yourselves?
I play Melee.
Well, I'm an IT guy, so I look at computers most of the time.
You know, Doc, it all started back when I was little. My father, he's a very nice man. Jumped tractors for a living. And just one day, you know, those tractors are scary things. You got one running up against you, it's nothing you can do. Doc, I can't do this.
A moment of silence for Cletus Clyde T. Okay, anyway, so let's talk about the main topic, the main issue today. What do you think, how do you think Donald Trump's internet presence really won him this election? How meme culture as well as the rise of his attack on the fake news really brought him into power? Let's start with Cletus and then let's move to the left.
You know, Doc, it's hard living. I go home every day. The only person happy to see me is my dog. My wife, she doesn't care for me anymore. My dog jumps in my lap every day. My wife just looks at me and yells at me. Kids, oh God, they don't even love me anymore.
Understandable. Tommy Nguyen, how would you like to answer this question?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, I think what's so special about Donald Trump is that he's unique and he's funny. I mean, when these kids, they don't really think about the politics, but they know one thing. Donald Trump is a lot more fun than Hillary Clinton. So I think Twitter has had such a great impact on the spreading of not only just his message, but his reputation and like his connotation of his name. They think Donald Trump's a more interesting character.
Brandon?
I agree. Donald Trump has the dank memes and Hillary Clinton does not.
True. So, next question I'd like to ask is, how do you think the election of 2000 and now 2016, the possible illegitimacy of presidents, how some counting methods would have put Al Gore as our 43rd president, while currently Donald Trump is being investigated for possible collusion with Russia and their possible hacking into our elections. How do you think this really affects how people see democracy? We'll start with Brandon this time. We'll move to the right.
Hey man, he's making it happen. Al Gore could have won, but he didn't. So there's that. Same thing with Trump, man. He won. That's how it is. We gotta move forward.
Right. Tommy?
I think the fact that both presidents, George W. Bush and Donald Trump, were both minority presidents, and how George Bush was decided by the Supreme Court and Donald Trump was decided not by the popular vote but the electoral vote, makes democracy seem very divided right now. We live in a very polar world in America. It's very tribal in the fact that there's no compromise and there's no willing to discuss, but just more of whose side you on democracy, the Democrats or Republicans.
Cletus, would you like to lean in on this issue?
Doc, I don't know anything about this Russia, but I'm afraid my wife's going to be rushing out that door any minute. I mean, God, I work all day and she's not happy with me. I don't know what to do, Doc. Can you help?
I'm sorry, I'm not that kind of doctor. In fact, I'm not even a doctor in any sort of profession.
The hell am I here for?
You signed up for an interview.
Alright. Can't help me with my wife?
No, I can't. But if you look to our new technology, there's Tinder available, or Grindr if you're into that.
It's Mr. Trump on Tinder?
Well, I'm sure he must be.
I think he's on Grindr.
I'll give it a shot.
I'm on Christian Mingle.
I'm on farmersonly.net.
Blackpeoplemeet.com.
Okay, so how do you feel about Jill Stein pulling in the same amount of votes as Harambe this past 2016 election? I'll open this up for discussion.
Well, I think that Harambe is actually a more viable candidate than Jill Stein. I mean, the last thing that we would want in this world is a woman president.
True.
Is Harambe that green guy in the unicycle?
No, he's a strong, dark-skinned guy.
My son always talks about these memes. Is it?
I'm familiar with them.
Yes. I think they're pretty funny. I have one of a dog. It's on my desktop of a dog saying something along the lines of "Ha ha, silly human, I eat your hamburgers." I think it's pretty funny.
Yes.
These women rights things and the female presidency really gets me cracked up. It reminds me back in the day when that man King used to fight for, what do you call it, African rights.
Right.
I agree.
Can you say that on live television?
Yeah, we are live currently.
Yeah,
Harambe.
So, Harambe?
Harambe.
These politicians need to step it up, man.
Yeah. How do you think that having a dead monkey, same amount of votes, 1.9% of the population, as an actual serious Green Party candidate?
Man, whose fault is that?
The woman or the monkey? You tell me.
I don't know, man.
I tell my kids to go out and vote when they're old enough, and I just think that whatever they do, as long as we're getting people voting, I think that's a good sign. But we do a little better on that Harambe part.
How do you feel about the, as you say, you want people to vote as long as they're voting, but how do you feel if you have a misinformed population voting?
Who's to say it's misinformed?
Well, that
Give the people what they want.
I think they got it right. I mean, just make sure it's a man and then vote for him.
It's a male monkey.
Okay, that's a male monkey. Okay.
This chair's
No, go ahead.
Okay, so how do you feel technology has really done harm or bettered our democratic process? As we see now, we have more people getting involved through electronic voting and then a faster spread of information, but also we have on the other side of the spectrum possible hackers from Russia or even within the United States who are messing with the election, as well as candidates' own inaptitude towards technology, resulting in scandals like Hillary Clinton's emails, which many have blamed her loss on.
Well, I don't like no Russian. I mean, their ugly AK-47 and using their technology to hack our great country. But I don't like Hillary Clinton either. I think we should just go the Russians.
Right.
You mocking my accent?
No.
Last time I checked, you didn't know.
I'm not mocking your accent. I'm just mocking the fact that this technology is making it so easy to be so truthful.
Did you pass high school?
Did you pass middle school?
And I did, with no technology, all the way to the 10th grade.
Anyway, so I think technology is great. I mean, I got my kids an Xbox 360 the other day. They've been playing Call of Duties all day. They don't do their homework, but I think as long as they're having fun, I think these presidential candidates can have fun with it too. I think I think they deserve a little bit of a break from running this country. It must be a hard job. I think Mr. Trump can really deserve a break. Really enjoy playing those video games with my kids.
I agree. I got me one of them Oculus Rift thingers where I can get out of here and live in a better world where I'm president. And I don't need all y'all dirty monkeys around.
Excuse me, sir. I don't think that's your accent last time I checked.
Are you trying to call my accent?
Why
Excuse me,
why
sir.
you guys
Excuse me,
not
sir.
Okay,
Let's be civilized.
That segues us into a perfect topic. So, on the issue of video games, do you feel like new technologies are really taking people out of the reality that we live in today? People on social media and people in video games are escaping reality as it is right now. Do you think that's bettering how we diffuse information to each other, or do you think that's actually turning the younger generation further apart from the realities of the world?
Well, I think video game social media is great because I play GTA with this 13-year-old girl named Rebecca, and we're hanging out this Saturday night at her house. So I think it's pretty cool. And, I think it's so cool that you can just carry a gun and just go, and everyone in GTA, I feel like, that makes sense. I mean, I've done that a couple times in real life, so, I really like technology now.
Yes, who hasn't?
I got this fancy new game called Pokemon Go. I've been walking around with my kids, catching these pogies, I think they're called. Pikachu, I believe. I think Hillary made a comment about Pokemon Go in one of her campaigns.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Or debates, whatever. And I thought it was very relatable. I think that this type of technology can really connect our kids to the world because they're going outside, catching these pogies. I think it really exposes them to the dangers of the world, but they got to learn somehow.
I play Melee. It's my life.
Yes. Tell us, how has that really broadened your view on the world?
It showed me everything about the world of Melee, and I've really learned everything there is to Melee. And it's pretty much I do 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, 9 times a year.
So how do you think different news outlets such as MSNBC and Fox News, who are on two completely opposite sides of the spectrum, how they're divisive in in terms of their viewers? They have people who are willing to watch their network but are not willing to watch the other side and watch what they have to say, and they're not willing to call out the other side's mistakes while not looking inward at themselves.
Wow, I love Fox News. That's all I want to say. I mean, they got so right. Women's rights? Who needs that? We got Trump. We got whites. We got guns. That's all we need.
You're just like my wife, always nagging and nagging. You know what? I like and it's whatever the hell it is. You're just like my wife. I can't stand you.
I love Fox News. Fox News is great.
I love both idiots. You know what you need to do? Come watch my YouTube channel. Watch my podcast. I'll tell everything that's right for you. Go to youtube.com. Brandon Chung is always right.
What is this called?
Like, subscribe. The YouTuber, that's me, okay? I will tell you everything that's right.
I'll check you out.
Well, all I know is that Fox News speaks the truth, and that MSNBC is so stupid.
Hey man, Fox News gets their news from me, man. You me.
What do you say about that Bill O'Reilly guy? Huh?
Oh no, he's a genius. He's a pure god. Those accusations
What
are
are you
fake.
saying, boy?
He did not touch the woman. Look at this gun that Fox News gave me. Come on, look at it.
Yes.
All right. Simmer down.
Simmer down.
Let's be cordial.
Simmer down.
Simmer down.
Okay, next question then. How do you feel like this? How do you feel these new accusations against Russia are, especially with their Vladimir Putin's latest interview with Megyn Kelly regarding the idea of patriotic hackers?
You know, I think Putin's right. I think they can be hackers anywhere. You know, you guys have said they can.
You think an American would hack another American? You're an idiot.
I think we shoot them.
I think we should shoot them civilly.
Civilly? You can't shoot no one civilly.
Yeah, you can't, right to the head.
I say we can't shoot them. We should have laws in place to punish these guys. You know,
Hey, no American shoot another American, alright? Boy, you listen to me. You ain't doing that around here.
How do you think our country got through the Civil War?
That's actually true.
They weren't real Americans, alright? You listen here. Real Americans wouldn't do such a thing.
Yeah, they were.
Is Putin American? Is Putin American? You gonna listen to someone that's not American?
Of course I am. He's
Idiot. Maybe you're the hacker. Because you ain't real American.
Excuse me, sir.
You believe another
hacker?
If I shoot him in the head, hey, you should shoot him in the head.
I did not. I did not hack.
If I shoot him in the head and he's alive, he's a hacker.
Shoot him right now.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Okay, so I know I haven't talked about this in the main piece, but in Watergate, how technology's been able to record events that have happened. How do you think that erasing candidates not being willing to put forth information like Nixon deleting some tapes during the Watergate scandal? How do you think those really affected our Americans' trust in the presidency and the idea of executive privilege?
Well, I think these presidents, especially the men ones, of course, they should be able to say whatever they want because we elected them. And they're so good. Like that Donald Trump guy, he's amazing. He doesn't need to send out any tapes, but Hillary Clinton, those emails, oh my God. She's a traitor to this nation. I wish I could just go, bah, bah, bah.
Excuse me, sir, what happened to the laws and treating people civilly?
Yeah, but they're winning, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, my wife could use a little good whipping.
I can whip your wife if you want some help.
What's that?
I might have to take you up on that offer, but
let me know.
It's live TV, sir. Yeah, I think we should simmer down.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question for this group debate, and then I'll ask you personally. Who do you think? Oh shit. Okay, stop because I forgot. I cut. All right, 3, 2, 1. You ran up the I see you. 3, 2, 1. Mark. So how do you think the growth of niche news sites such as Infowars have really affected our democracy? How are they drawing people away from main parties? And is it really a danger to our democracy how people are finding new niche sort of exclusive news sites that really focus in on some issues and then totally blank out on the rest?
Well, I'm pulling up a source from my favorite news site, The Onion.
Well, I think it's great because I have a couple where we only talk about guns. Not even the gun control, just about guns. We talk about guns, more guns, different type of guns. And then when some fool brings up, like, I don't know, like birth control and abortion, we just go, bah, bah, bah.
Right, but how do you think that these news sites are really affecting the way people are seeing politics, and are they really taking these seriously anymore?
Yo, I love these nude sites, man. Like, when these politicians show up on these nude sites, man.
You know, excuse me, sir, I think he's talking about news.
Yeah, news.
News.
I said news all the time. I love all these, like,
I see
the new hot daily news. They're like everywhere on the internet.
My wife's been texting so much.
What's her name?
Don't worry about it.
Well, I don't know one thing, but people in my gun club don't know anything about politics.
Excuse me, sir. I'd just like to talk a little about my favorite news site, The Onion. Here we got an article called "Trump Pours Milk Over a Bowl of Skittles While Settling Into to watch Comey Hearing." I think The Onion's a very great news site. My wife and I look at it all the time. I think news sites such as, you said, Nietzsche news sites, right? Nietzsche, that psychologist. Psychologist. Yeah, he's Anyway, The Onion, great source. Trump pours milk over a bowl of Skittles. I think it's very valuable in seeing who he is as a person. You know, like.
Wait, so you and your wife look at Trump's nudes together?
Sir, I think we're talking about news.
Yeah, the nude site. Yeah, I get it. Nude site.
So
Trump
is the last person
pouring milk over Skittles.
Was he?
Sorry, can you tell me what site this is?
It's called
What site is this? sorry, my bad.
A serious question here. Was he nude in the White House?
Exactly.
That's why I had an article about that. I mean, I'm open to all walks of life. I'm just saying I don't really prefer that kind of stuff. I'm sure this man is.
I'll get that article later.
But have you ever heard of Au Natural?
Au Natural. See, my wife does that all the time.
How do guns play into Au Natural?
Au Natural. Guns.
Truth.
I like guns.
Nude truth.
Alright, we're gonna take a short break here. We'll be back with individual interviews in a second. How do you feel about the state of our nation, especially with possible hacks from Russia, or, as Vladimir Putin suggests, hacks from outside of Russia, such as Latin America or even within the United States?
Well, I think this hacking is ridiculous, you see, because I just put a steel box over my phone and no one can steal it. So, I mean, this hacking thing's, I guess, kind of scary because these waves come out of nowhere and they go into the phone, they intercept the waves out of the phone. It's just, I wish I could just get my gun, I could just go bam, 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 but... You know.
I think this hacking whole shenanigan deal is a bunch of foolishness. There is no way someone could hack me or any of my accounts because I use like 2-3 different passwords, right? There's no way they could guess all 3 of them. That's just ridiculous. No hacker, if it's Russia or China or even an American one, is gonna get anywhere near my business.
Right, and that password, I think on record we have here, I am a furry with no capitals, I am a furry with a capital I, and then we have I am a furry with a capital Y.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many different letters, how could they even like guess which one I'm doing, right?
Right. That's truly genius.
You know, I think this country is very unstable with all these hackers in Russia, China, and you know, everywhere else. You know, my sons call me the hacker man because one time I hooked up our Wii computer. It wasn't working very well, and I think it's a very dangerous place to live out in there. You know?
Yes, the Wii is truly a feat of our new generation, coming out with the Wii U soon.
Indeed.
Hopefully they can master.
Gotta sell another cow to get it, but
yes. Life. Thank you. And what do you believe Kofifi means?
Kofifi means allow automatic weapons in the schools immediately. That's what I think.
I think Kofifi means that we will be making America great again very soon.
That Pokemon Go game I was playing with my sons, I think there's an Eevee, Pogi that's called Eevee, right? I think that Kofifi is a new evolution of Eevee. It's like a coffee cup with ears. You know, it's very cute.
I'm sorry.